What's up, guys? Charlie here. Welcome back to Conquering Kerbal Space Program. Today we're not going to be doing much of a mission or anything like that, but I do want to sort of explore base possibilities, surface-based possibilities with you guys. Sort of get your feedback, see what you guys think, and also I actually have a few questions of my own, really. So I can also ask them to you guys in the comments if I remember to get to them by the end of this video. So I may not remember. Just a quick update also, I spent a little bit of money updating the runway to be fully upgraded because I want to maybe set up sort of a demo or set up sort of a, I don't know what the term I'm looking for is. I guess I want to do a trial run, I guess, of a surface base and see what it's like right here next to the KSC and maybe see what that's like. In order to do that, you know, I may need to launch the thing on the runway just to kind of see how things all work together. So we'll see how this works. But anyway, let's go into where do we want to build this? Probably in the space plane hangar, actually. Let's go to the space plane hangar. Now, this is not fully upgraded yet. We're maxed out at 255 parts, but the base won't be that many parts. And I'll also kind of show you guys where I don't have the parts that I want. For example, 3 components that I'm missing that I'm probably going to want to add to the station. Actually 4, but I won't be able to get them all. The first is in long-term space tech, and it is this K&K planetary laboratory. I just don't have that, so I need 1,000 science in order to get it. The second thing I want is in advanced solar technology. It would be nice to have the cutting-edge solar tech, but I think advanced solar tech is plenty, is fine. And I really like these photovoltaic trusses. I think they look kind of cool. I can probably set them on the surface and they might look nice, but I do want them to probably have to rotate and move around. And so I was also thinking about putting these trusses or just flat out going to the megalator, because it's a really big solar panel. But I can get by with the ones that we have, the Gigantor. I can get by with this one, so I just need more of them probably. Whatever. The other thing I'm looking at getting, or I need to get, is in large probes, which requires me to unlock advanced unmanned tech and large probes. So I need about 1,550 science for that. And I need to get this, the RCL01 remote guidance unit. This is going to let me control remote probes, interplanetary, next to this base anyway, by basically making this base that I build act as another KSC. So the signal lag goes away, or the issue for signal lag around Duna anyway, or around the planet where this base is built, would go away, so long as this base is manned by 6 or more Kerbals at the time. So those are some of the components I'm missing. And the last thing I'm missing is in advanced motors, these attachable landing gear for K&K parts. This is going to basically allow me to have landing legs for my building structures, which is nice, but also it can transform to wheels on the spot as well. And these mount radially in nice little spots that are kind of built right into the K&K Planetary Base Systems mod itself. So it's pretty cool. So I can have wheels, move my stuff around. And speaking of moving stuff around, I probably have to launch the vessel, I almost certainly have to launch the vessel, modularly, which means I'm going to need a docking port that allows these things to dock together really well. I can also use the Meerkat landing assist. That might be handy too, but I don't think it's necessary, at least not on certain planets. If I put enough parachutes on it going into an atmospheric planet, it'll probably be all right. I am looking for one other thing. It's a docking port for K&K resources or K&K parts. And now I'm kind of thinking there's a chance I might have already unlocked it. I just don't see it. Maybe I'll just skip ahead in the video once I find it. Okay, actually I did find it, and it's in the path of getting to large probes. It's actually found inside advanced unmanned tech, and it's right here. It's this docking port from K&K. It's shaped just like the base system modules, which is perfect, so I don't have to worry about them kind of looking weird. And I really could do this without this. I really can have docking ports that are fully functional and everything without this, but it just looks so good. And by using this part, I can pretty much guarantee that they're going to be lined up properly. So there is that as well. Okay, so that's pretty much all I'm looking for here. Of course, there's other stuff that's nice to have, like the little algae farm. It's usually nice to have as well for organics and things like that. But we can get into that stuff later down the road. There's a lot of parts in here that we can use for bases. I'm so super excited. This right here too, also eccentric quarks. I do want to have all of my station science stuff for my orbital station done as well. And this is the last part I think I'm missing for that. So I just need to get that. Experimental electrics. Big Brother surveillance camera might be nice to have. So many things I need to get yet. So keep in mind that, keep that with a grain of salt when we're going through this base build here, that there are parts that I will like to incorporate and I don't have them available to me just yet. Also, just before we get started, you'll notice that I have Kerbal Alarm Clock here, and there are several other launch windows that have been placed in here because I do want, or I am interested, and I think anyway, by the time we get to these windows, I'll have more than enough science to unlock things that are going to help us do things on other planets as well. So I have a Sarnus launch window, which is over a year away, almost 2 years away. Jewel, which is just over a year away. Eve, which is just under a year away. And Earlham, which is actually coming up before Eve, which is perfect because I actually have a contract to do RemoteTech satellite network around Earlham. I accepted that a video a while back. You saw that. That actually fronted me $500,000, and it's going to give me $1.5 million if I can complete it. So I definitely want to get that done. It's going to take a very long time to get there. It's 12 years and 104 days as a trip. So the faster I get these things launched out, the better. And that's the launch window for Earlham, pretty much. It's going to take a total of just over 3,800 meters per second of delta V to pull it off, to get to it. But I'm going to need like 4,500 probably, because I'm going to need to get out there and then make all the maneuvers, and I need to get my satellites lined up and all that stuff. So, and there's probably one hell of a signal lag. I really don't know how I'm going to pull that off. I don't, but we will see how that works later on. Let's go ahead and get Kerbal Alarm Clock out of the way and focus on the bases. Let's go to the spaceplane hangar and get that done. Okay, welcome to the spaceplane hangar. Before we get started on the bases, I know I keep doing that. There's always something before, but this is kind of important. The idea behind this base system that's going in, at least going into this design, means there are two parts to it, okay? There's going to be the sort of residence, science, survival, the aeroponics and plant life, and there is the fully self-sufficient base system. There's that component. But then there's also the part where we need to mine resources. Now, normally that wouldn't be a big deal. Before I had extraplanetary launch pads and before I started to do the Outer Planets mod and all these other things, when I initially started this goal in video 1, the goal was just to have ore, to mine ore, make fuel, and that's it, and have a self-sufficient base. But with extraplanetary launch pads installed, there's so many other things that we could probably do. So I'm not amending the goal by any means, but I think we can probably incorporate other things that let our bases be a little bit more functional through different types of resources and breaking things down. That being said, full disclaimer, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing in regards to that system, in regards to extraplanetary launch pads and metallic ore and rare materials and gypsum and all these extra things that I have no idea what I'm doing with those. So lots of mistakes will probably be made regarding that. Okay, that out of the way, it's almost a guarantee that our bases, if they're fully functional in that way, will have kind of two bases on each planet instead of one. One that's in charge of getting the resources to build things and refine them and get the resources for those, and the other base that's for people living and the actual base itself that we had before. So to help with that, I have developed a couple of different vehicles that I think will help with that. The first thing that's going to help with this is something I'm calling the Hauler, the Hauler Mark 1. So far, this is what I've got with this. This is the Hauler. It is a rover that is designed to kind of be a semi-truck in a way. The idea here is that I can put any payload I want on the top of this trailer. The grabbing arm will grab a hold of it to make sure it doesn't fall off, and it can be integrated into the ship and all that stuff, or into the vessel itself. And we actually drive wherever we need to drive to drop this stuff off. So it's a delivery vehicle, but it does a few other things too. It has a service bay inside, which if I open the doors here, it has life support resources. We've got information here. There's a KIS container, so we can bring tools and other types of supplies around if we want to. There's EVA propellant, extra stuff here in case we need to do some stuff on EVA. I did have some, there they are, CCR2 ports here in case we wanted to dump any other types of resources in here. We've got plenty of battery power. We've got, even if we run out of power, right? Like if we run out of battery storage for whatever reason and we're driving in the dark, I do also have these little capacitors which can like discharge a ton of power into the batteries at a really quick rate if I need it. These charge really slowly, but I have that. So this is designed as sort of it's a hauler. It's something that's designed to take things around. And this rover, if you're not familiar with it, this is the Malmut rover pack. It's a mod by Rover Dude. He's the same person that I think is responsible for the, what's it called? I don't remember. He's responsible for, I'm gonna find it, I swear. It's in here. Here it is, Caribou. The Caribou exhibition rover is also very, very cool. It's another, I'm just gonna put it on top here, even though it doesn't go there. I'll just put it like maybe here. This is the Caribou. Very cool here as well. There's wheels as well as, or you can put wheels on here that actually collapse. I guess they retract and extend, and it has its own landing legs as well, so I can deploy the landing legs. It's for stability in case you're doing something with your rover, which is pretty nice. The Caribou rovers will come in handy in the future, but for now, I have the Malmut rover as being sort of my semi-truck, if you will. And this thing drives pretty well, and the more wheels you have, the more pull you have, because all the wheels have their own motors. And so you can get more pull and be able to kind of handle more weight the more wheels you have. And so I've got a bunch of wheels on the trailer kind of helping that out. Last thing here also is inside this little bay here, you may have noticed, there's a flap here I can deploy this tray. And if I do need to recharge for whatever reason, we can just go ahead and deploy this. And this thing pops right up, and we can recharge our batteries with that. I'm not entirely sure what the top of this is. I know it's a light. I know it's a light. I want to say, and it's kind of cheap, I don't know. I want to say that this provides some artificial light for us to recharge the solar panels with, but that just doesn't seem very good. I don't know how that works. So, but lights on, that's kind of what this will look like. It provides a lot of light around us. Very, very bright light there. So maybe that is how that works. I don't know. But anyway, that's the idea. So this is going to help us pull resources to and from the other bases. Okay, so there's that. And this is pretty long too. It's, I don't really know exactly how to measure how long this is. I guess I could put it down next to it. Whoops. Grabbed the wrong piece there. Put it next to a Kerbal maybe. I don't know. I guess it goes all the way back to that. This white line all the way back to that little square. So it's pretty long. It is intended to be docked to the side of something else, to another base or whatever. So you can see that there's these little docking ports here on the sides, and if we extend these actually extend out, and you can actually dock this to a building or whatever that you're sitting next to. And this way, Kerbals can get into the rover without having to, without having to go outside in EVA. You can just transfer whoever you need into the rover, and off you go. So that's pretty nice. And it's on both sides as well. I can also take this off, and I am considering doing that because I think the base that I'm building might just have a garage. It is easier, I think, to do the docking port method, so I do want to keep it if I can, but the garage, would kind of be nice to park your rover in a garage. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so that's that. Let's go ahead and just pump that, I guess, back out here. I want to start a new base. I don't want to start things that I've been playing around with already. Science rovers. Yeah, I've been kind of playing around with a whole bunch of different stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about bases. Let's go ahead and talk about this. For our Duna base, I'm going to have a central hub. It's going to be right here, this K&K Planetary Central Hub. Let's go ahead and flip this over like so. This is the sort of the central point for the whole base. It is a very capable central hub. It holds 6 Kerbals in here. And you can think of this as sort of like the big sort of command center, if you will, for this. On the top here is where I want that probe core. that allows me to control, you know, probes remotely, kind of have remote control of probes. So to represent that, I guess I'm gonna have to find something that's similar to it, similar in size anyway. For that, I'll probably use one of these RCS fuel tanks. I think this is about the same size. I think that's the same size. I'm hoping it is because it's perfect for the roundness of this top of the space. Then on top of this, I'm gonna put a structural element here. I'm thinking like this 10-meter one here. Okay, so we'll put that like that. And this is gonna stick way up in the air. Now I'll have, I'm gonna have lights mounted on this, and we can have these central lights here at the top of this tower can shine down throughout the whole base, so that it'll provide light to everything that we need to provide light for on these few lights that are on this truss. But I'm kind of thinking that I might put my solar panels up here too, and that keeps the solar panels off the ground. It kind of eliminates all the risk of running into them or having anything hit them or whatever. So I think I kind of want to do that, and then I can just have like a ladder sort of up this, so that the Kerbals can, if it's like Eve, where it's like a high gravity planet, you know, we don't necessarily use our EVA suits to get up there. It's not really feasible. So we could just sort of find our way up on the top of this part, and then climb up the railing if we need to like repair anything, you know, climb up the truss. So it'll probably end up being twice as high, like this. I know that seems kind of silly, but inside the spaceplane hangar, that seems super stupid high. But when you get on the planet, it's not going to be that bad. And having solar panels this high might be kind of cool, because they'll have sun exposure for longer during the day. They'll see the sun rise before the ground does, and they'll see the sun set after the ground does. So that's an advantage that might work out that way. We'll see. Don't know. I'm going to take this down for a second. Ooh, camera's doing something weird here. Hang on. Okay, that's going to be strange. It's like it's not pivoting around anything really centrally located. Okay, and we're going down as well. Okay, anyway, so if I can get this camera under control like I want, which would be great right now. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I want. So now we have the central hub, and you can see that there's 4 points. So 4 different directions for things to go. To get this started, I'm not sure I need to separate it all that badly, but I think I might do it. You can see where the docking ports would end up being. So we would basically have the central hub down, and then there'd be docking ports, and then we would dock the modules to the central hub. But when I ship the central hub, I may actually have it partially assembled already. It depends on how easy it is to land things. I'm not really sure how easy it will be to land it, but I'm thinking of doing this habitat, MK2 habitats. So I'm gonna call it, like, if I ever figure out how to rotate this to where it makes sense, that would be great. Yeah, this will work. So this is the habitats, the MK2 habitats, and I'm thinking like this side will probably have 2 habitats. I'll ship the 2 habitats together, like this, so I don't have to have like multiple docking ports that way. I'll ship it like this. Part of the problem with planetary base systems here, though, is that things are sort of designed to have landing legs. To have legs. So there's actually an adapter. I might go like this. There's an adapter, and I don't know where it is. It says midsection, which might be what I want. Like this. No, there's a door. That's a door. That's an airlock. There is a midsection that actually has, let's go to planetary base systems here. There we go. Looking for adapter. I know it's here, guys. There it is, planetary adapter. Okay, so this goes like kind of between sections or periodically throughout the base. It doesn't necessarily have to be between these 2 sections, but this adapter, it just provides a spacer between the 2 modules, but that spacer comes with a platform that's right here, and it's perfect size to fit these little landing legs. So I could, for example, if I ever get this thing pointed the right direction, there we go. It comes perfect for these little landing legs. So the base actually sits about this high off the ground with the landing legs on the ground. That's how it's designed to be. I actually really love the look of the base without the landing legs, just being on the ground, like flat. Like, I just love the way this looks. It just looks like it's supposed to be that way. Flat on the bottom, just sitting down. And, I mean, look at this. It's appropriately sized for Kerbals, right? That's not bad. I think it's pretty good. But it's really hard to move these parts around. It's going to be hard to slide them around and all that stuff without them being elevated while you're moving them. So I can kind of understand why they need to be elevated. So for that reason, we'll probably have it elevated a little bit. But anyway. So if I'm going to elevate it, and I probably will have to, I need to remember to put these adapters kind of periodically through here just to provide some stability and some structural integrity to this thing. And the first place to provide that structural integrity would be probably all around the outside of this. Probably in every single one of these nodes here should likely have some sort of adapter so that we can put landing legs down. Probably. So I'll probably do it like that, and then put another one like maybe here. And then on the ends of these are the two habitats, which we can deploy these, by the way. So I'll just deploy these. You can see how they deploy. They're pretty cool. They kind of just stick out like that. Really neat. Like that. Very nice. I'm noticing that they're kind of the same with the door sticking on the same side like that, and I don't like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this one and just kind of flip it around. There we go. So now they're a little bit different. I know the doors are kind of next to each other there, which is cool. We have these little habitat ladders on each side now instead of only on one side, and the doors kind of are staggered as well, which are nifty. I don't know how they come out of these doors, but this is how they'll go in and out of the habitats, so it's kind of nice. Okay, so that would be my habitation, and that's basically going to take care of, well, habitation for the Kerbals. So we have a base capacity right now of 6 inside the central hub, and 4 inside this one, and 4 inside this one. That means 8 here, 6, total is 14. Obviously, we can have a capacity for more as well. We can, because there'll be some in the laboratory, there'll be some in the greenhouses, and all sorts of stuff there. So I'm thinking I may not even need 2 of these. I may be okay with just 1, but currently the design calls for 2 of them. So that's what I've got. Now, on this side, opposite of the habitation, I think I want the laboratory and the science stuff. Science facility on this side. Now, what that means is I don't have a part that represents it, and I'm not entirely sure how long the laboratory is. So I'm gonna use a planetary greenhouse for now to just sort of represent how wide this is or how big this is, because I think the planetary greenhouse is probably a decent representation of how big it is. Now, you don't need more than 1 laboratory. This is a mistake that a lot of people make for their orbital stations and stuff. They think if they put like 2 or 3 laboratories, it makes their science go faster. It does not. 1 science lab is all you need for an entire base. Okay? Don't waste your money. 1 science lab will work. If you put 2 and then you have experiments, you're not going to be able to work both of them at the same time. Experiments will only go into 1, and they're only going to work from 1. So you might as well just have 1. Now I'm not sure, so you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. If you do have 2 science labs and you decide to and you fill them up with 2 scientists, I'm wondering if the science output, at least the speed at which you go through that research, perhaps the speed is increased. But the amount of data you can do and the amount of research you can do is not increased, but the speed might be increased. I think that might be how it works. I don't know. But I think it only works that way because you have more Kerbals in the station that are researching, which, I mean, you could do that with habitation. You could just have more scientists in habitation. You now have more scientists on your station, so increased. This is why having a station, or having another, the chair is creaking, sorry guys. This is why having a scientist in that cupola module on Minmus or whatever is increasing our science output. They're not in the station, but they're in the craft and they're helping out. So anyway, I'm gonna use a planetary greenhouse here just to represent where the science lab would be. So to that end, it'd probably be all right to have like, I envision like having probably a cupola module there and maybe a cupola module on the end here. For some reason, the spaceplane hangar loves to put your parts like way off in the distance instead of putting them where you want them. And even if you hold Alt, it doesn't work. You kind of have to really struggle with, like, it's way over in the back now and I don't want it there. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get it to be here, and then I'm gonna move over, see if I can't get it to kind of be where I want it to be. Like, it's really annoying. This is the one thing I wish they would really fix with Kerbal Space Program, is how to get these things where you want them. Okay, so that is pretty good there. That works, right? Cupola module on both sides, that's pretty good. And the cupola module has a seat in it as well, so Kerbals can be in there as well if they want to. Next thing is the planetary greenhouses. Now the greenhouses are very cool for, you know, we're growing crops and we use organics and we, you know, recycling, we use a whole bunch of stuff here and we keep ourselves alive and keep our life support systems up. We do that with the greenhouses, or at least helping out with the greenhouses. So I'm gonna need one of these, not these corridors, I need a different type of corridor. This one, this K&K crossway, if I can ever get it to be in the right position for this base, which doesn't look like it's very promising. Nope, there it goes. Now when I put that down, you'll notice that it looks different. It has sort of this flat, and it's sort of flat now instead of being with the edges that it had before. And that's because this is just showing you sort of what will happen to the design when you place something on top of it, and showing you where the different attachment nodes are. So with this, I can actually just copy and paste it and put it here. That creates sort of a corridor that can go out to, you know, wherever. So let's put it out like this. Then I'm gonna have planetary greenhouses. So let's grab greenhouses. I just used it for getting this one. There it is. So here's the greenhouses, and I'm gonna put one here and here. And then I could, if I want to, I don't think I need to, but if I want to, I can also put one, well, maybe I can put one, I don't know, it's not letting me place it. Oh man, it's so difficult to get what you want in a spaceplane hangar. There we go. And there, whoop, there. So my greenhouses can kind of go here, and these extend as well. So we'll just deploy these. They kind of pop out like this. Looks really nice, you know. And all of these structures have really cool IVAs. Like you can see inside them, they're really cool IVAs. Now, aside from the greenhouses, we also are going to need some supplies for these greenhouses to make sure they stay stocked. And so I'm going to have some I think some supply type stuff on the edges. I don't have the right modular storage unlocked yet. I want the two-way instead of the, oh, I'm sorry, I want the four-way instead of the two-way. But for now, I'm going to use the two-way, and I'll just use two of them for now. But I'm going to want an adapter between that. So let's grab an adapter. Adapter, here we go. There we go. And that's going to keep this sort of supported. Maybe I can, no, actually this isn't a good place for the adapter. Let's take the adapter out of here, and we're going to put it right like this. Like there. Yeah, that's going to be a good place for that. And then on top of that, then we'll put the adapter again to get more legs. This is why I don't like the adapters and legs. It adds so many parts to the station that I really wish I didn't have to add. I want to just have this thing lay flat, and if I can find a way to do that without the legs, I totally will. But yeah. Here's another adapter. Let's put that adapter on the side here, like that. And then at the end, I'm gonna have the end storage module, which is somewhere. The end piece storage module. I know it's over here somewhere. There it is. Modular storage end. And this is a good place to put, you know, like a battery. I think I'm gonna put batteries on the edges here. In fact, let's just do that right now because I'm pretty sure the ends of these are gonna be battery containers. Each one of these K&K Z3K battery containers holds 3,500 charge. So very cool. I'll have plenty of charge on our base. And so instead of replicating this over and over again, I think what I'm gonna do is I'll get rid of these. That's not what I wanted to do. I'll get rid of these, and then I'll just build it out how I want once, and then I'll just copy it around the nodes. So I don't have the right container, like I said, and I also don't have the right modules to put inside here yet either, because I want to put sort of the plants and stuff that go through here. I want to put those in here, but I don't have the parts unlocked yet. So yeah, I think what I'll do, this greenhouse container, it's so good, but it requires that longer one. So I guess it'll just look weird for now until I get the longer one. Which direction do you go? There you go. So yeah, I need the longer one in order for that to go there, but I mean, you can kind of see. Oh, anyway, there's a greenhouse there. Maybe I'll put it on top. Is that possible? It won't look very good. Never mind. So we'll just put it there for now. Or more realistically, it should go here because it takes up that much room. So there's those plants. We'll do that on both sides. There we go. Kinda like that. And then on the very ends here, we'll have other supplies that the greenhouse would need to function very well. So we could have like a stock of waste, maybe, for like fertilizer and stuff. So maybe small waste containers might be nice. Wastewater container, water container. Yeah, probably want water too, I would think. So we'll do like a waste container. We'll do another waste container like that, or if I can get it to fit in there. Like that. And then I'll just kind of copy this to the other side. Again, this is really rough because I don't have all of the components. I don't have all of the materials. I don't have all the parts that I need. So, but anyway, that's sort of like our greenhouse setup right there. If I need more than this, and I'm not sure I will, this may be all I need. It's very likely this is all I need. If that is the case, then I can also use this extra extended little area here to put more things that I need for storage, like extra water resources and things like that. But again, I need the other containers. I need the other modules that lets me put more containers in. So maybe I'll represent that with a fuel tank. If I can get the fuel tank to even kind of like this. I'll represent that with fuel tanks for now. If I can ever get it to, man, oh man. It does not want to go where I want it to go at all. There we go. Okay. So that's just going to be represented by fuel tanks for now. It might be a good place to store fuel too. I don't know. Although, fuel might be better spent over in this area. Now this side is going to be more of the industrial type area. This side is meant to store, well, yeah, kind of store fuel. So maybe this is a better implementation. I think for now, let's just do this. Let's take this and put it over here. If it's even possible to do such a thing. Wow. If you guys, comments below, seriously, if you guys know how to better control like these elements for, oh my gosh, like to get them to move how you want them to move, let me know, guys, because this has always been like my #1 pet peeve about building things in Kerbal Space Program. It's that these things do not do what I would consider to be sensible things. And no, holding Alt does not work. I've been holding Alt the entire time, moving that around, it didn't work. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna need, if I'm gonna do fuel tanks here, most likely gonna want like a bunch of them. So probably like something like this. And this will sort of store surface fuel. Maybe that's how I want to do it, And then we can go like probably another crossway thing. Holding Alt. Yeah, I gotta move the camera a bit to get it to do it. So there's like a little crossway thing. We have a bunch of fuel here. Probably, if we're on a reserve, or actually, this is really nice. If we're on a resource, right, or if we're in an area where there's actually ore below us, which would be really nice. I would really like it if we had an ore supply and then we also had water and stuff in the ground. But the priority with this base, okay, the absolute priority is landing on where there's a source for water to extract water out of the ground. So we're not going to prioritize ore, we're going to prioritize water. The whole point is self-sufficiency. If we have to ship fuel in, we'll ship fuel in, but that's the way it is. So, but let's assume, right, let's assume that we are in an area where there's ore under the ground, which would be really cool. We can use these inline drills to extract the ore we need out of the ground right here at the base. Isn't that nice? Huh? It looks like it belongs, I think. I could stick it in here, but I'm trying to sort of be a little more, I guess, realistic to what I would like in a design if I was living there. And I don't think I would want my habitat to be right next to the drills. I don't think I would want that. So, yeah. And the water supply, where these guys are getting their water from, is going to come from over here. So, and again, this is doesn't matter with Kerbal Space Program, but logistically, if you were to do this in real life, I would want the water to come through from this side and not from this side, because this is where the drills are. All right, we know how fracking works, guys. We know what happens. So there's that. Then on this tip here, let's go with, there's another part that I want to use, and it is hiding on me. I don't know where it is. Oh, there's a deep freezer as well. So we have this, we have deep freeze installed. If we need to freeze a Kerbal, I could also put the freezer, if I ever, yeah, I could also put the freezers like right here, you know? Like we could freeze Kerbals in here if we want to. There's room for 4 Kerbals to be frozen in each one of these. So if we need to, we can freeze them. It's possible, but I'm not going to put those into the base right now. But that's something we can do if we want to build it in. I don't know yet. So there's that. Now keep in mind, all of this stuff has to be built modularly. So I'll need docking ports and all this stuff, and sort of figure out which components I'm bringing in what order and what orientation and all that stuff. And at that point, then I'll kind of know where I want my docking ports to be, and then I'll build the base out with docking ports. But for now, this is what we're looking at. These fuel tanks can also be configured. So if I want liquid fuel and oxidizer, I can do that. If I want it to be only liquid fuel, I can do that. I think the outside tanks will probably be liquid fuel only. Probably the next two, because that's kind of what I'm favoring. The middle tank here will probably be liquid fuel and oxidizer. Can I do just monopropellant liquid hydrogen? Interesting. Or structural. Yeah, well, definitely not structural. I think probably liquid fuel and oxidizer. So this one will be liquid fuel oxidizer. This one will be also the same thing. And then we have just liquid fuel, etc., etc. And I might do 2 rows of this too, because we're going to have to store a whole bunch of fuel here for when vessels land at the base and take a break and chill out and whatever, and then they want to go back up into space. They need to refuel, and that's what these parts are. So yeah. So on this part here, I'm looking for there it is, planetary command module right here. If I can grab it, there we go. It's way over there for, I don't know what reason. Way over there next to the wall for awesome reasons. Let's do that. Come over here and almost, maybe, no, it's actually really high up. Let's put it there, and then just kind of come down and put it there. Oh, I had it, guys. Now it's not gonna let me. Come on, I'm holding Alt. There we go. Okay, and actually, I think probably we're missing a whole lot of adapters here. We're certainly missing a whole lot of adapters. So let's put this back. We'll probably want adapters. Wow, that's not at all how that was, but all right. We'll have adapters here. Like this. I'll just detach that because whatever. Let's go ahead and copy that. We'll paste it over here. There we go. That's going to keep this part supported, which is nice. That's not what I want to do at all. Let's get adapter. Where'd it go? I'm doing this all uncut. I don't know if you guys like that or not, but I'm doing it all uncut. Let's go this way with it. Really. Man, oh man. Like, this is getting silly, isn't it? No. Like that. There we go. Put that there. Cool. So now there's a place for landing legs to keep it upright and keep it supported and all that, and that's good. I could probably, instead of using these corridors, well, no, because I want corridors because I want people to be able to walk through here. So the corridors are not gas tanks. They're able to walk through here, and that's the whole point. But there's just stuff on the sides. And again, maybe this is not a good utilization of resources. Perhaps there's another way, a better way to do this. But again, this is just brainstorming. I'm just throwing this out there and just doing this kind of on the whim. The base is 126,000 right now. Here's the planetary command module, which is cool. Now inside the command from the command module, I want to use this garage adapter, which is going to give me a problem again, isn't it? Sure is. Come on now. There we go. Okay, garage adapter is on. Now the garage adapter, you see it has a door here. I wish it didn't have a door. I wish I could just custom place where I want this, but it has a door. The garage adapter is going to get used with this garage. Okay, so this is kind of nifty. Now we're gonna have an adapter here. Gonna have to do that again because we have to keep this sturdy or stable or however you want to word it. So let's put an adapter there. Okay. So you've got that. There's a garage. We're going to do a couple of different garages, actually, or we're going to do multiple garage components. But I want to get the garage structure in place. And the garage structural component comes with the spot for the landing legs. So that's why I want that. And then actually, let's do one more, like that. So now we can park that, that semi-truck into the trailer if we want to. That might be a bit hard to do. It might be kind of difficult, but if nothing else, this can also serve as a warehouse. I can put things, big containers or whatever for inside here, which would be nice. It opens from the side, which is kind of nice, and it has a customizable door. I can determine how far down it opens, so I can have it kind of hit the ground if I want to. Obviously preferable than to be sticking through everything else, but I can put containers in here or whatever I want, so I don't think I actually have any containers unlocked yet. I might be wrong, but I don't think I do. Yes, derp storage box, supply bags. Well, this counts. This is a KIS container. It's not very big, but it is a container. It does count. So I could, if I wanted to, put these, or not, like, put them inside, you know, in the garage, and store a whole bunch of stuff in here in case we want to, you know, I don't know. This can be like a shipping yard kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. Part module, storage, whatever. This is for KIS. Or we can store fuel in here, or we can store other types of rovers. Maybe I can have a different type of rover. I can have my science rover here, and it can get out on the sides or whatever. It's kind of nice. I like it. But if we store the whole Malamute rover in here, if we store everything in here, then we can have a garage door, which is here, the front garage door. Like that. And that opens up like so. So very nice. Very nice parts here from K&K Planetary Base Systems. I really like K&K Planetary Base Systems. Now, USI colonization is awesome too, and I'm planning on using that, but I'm not nearly as familiar with it, which is why I kind of just instinctually went for the planetary base system stuff. What I'm thinking here, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but what I'm thinking here is, I don't know what wrong is the right term, but maybe some other people have other opinions. Planets or bodies that we establish a base on that have an atmosphere, I kind of want these harder structures. Because I feel like a planet with an atmosphere has weather. Weather means storms, and like Mars, for example, has just like tons of storms all the time. I think I would want, in that situation, some harder structures, wouldn't you? Instead of inflatable stuff, because USI colonization, by and large, is like a lot of inflatable stuff. At least from what I can tell anyway. Like if I go to USI Industries, go to undefined. If I want to say have, oh, let's see, what do they got in here? I know I'm missing something. I'm missing a ton of components in here, but where is, here's, okay, so this is an inflatable workshop, okay? This is meant to be a workshop that you would, you know, Kerbals can work in, I guess, to build things. Trying to figure out if I have it. Well, I guess I'll figure out if I have it right before. This says crew hatch, so let's turn this to where it's oriented the right way. My goodness. Or we can just really screw it up. That's an idea as well. There we go. Okay, so let's just deploy this. So it's kind of nice, right? Like a nice little deployable workshop building that's kind of sitting on the ground. It's very cool. I think it's very cool. And it kind of goes along with planetary base systems in the sense that this is supposed to be sort of raised up with, you know, the landing legs and stuff, and this ends up being kind of like this. So, yeah, it's nice. But it's inflatable. So, like, if there's a storm, you know, rocks are being thrown everywhere, heavy winds, all that stuff, what would you rather be in, an inflatable structure or a hard structure? I would think a hard structure. So I'm thinking the worlds where, now they're not all inflatable. There is like something like this right here where it's a Surface Pioneer module, which is kind of meant to kind of be like this, I think. But the USI colonization parts also don't fully integrate like with this very well, because if I deploy this, for example, you can see that the landing legs are going to push this way up. It's going to be sitting up like this, which is not really matching up with planetary base systems. So I kind of have to choose, for the most part, one way or the other. A way to get around that is to have sort of my colonization stuff maybe right next to the base. So if I wanted like my workshop and things like that to build things, I'd probably put maybe the buildings like over here next to the garage. Could do that. And then I'd have my landing pad for landing vessels and landing ships, or my runway or whatever it is, kind of over here. But this can sort of be like the productivity, like the shipping yard, if you will, the garage where we store stuff in containers, and we have the car that comes around and docks to things, and we could have it maybe docked to, I don't know, I could stack these. I could probably stack these, actually. I wonder how that would look. It would maybe be kind of weird. If I took these fuel tanks, right, and I just sort of, I don't know, like this, and then I went like this. Oh, come on. Yep, like that. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It doesn't really look like the rest of the base, but it would still work okay if we don't have landing legs and the whole base was on the ground. It would still look pretty good, I think. It would still look okay, right? Like that. It would look fine. We have more fuel than we need, you know? Might be kind of nice. But anyway, that's just something I've been thinking of. Like, how do I make this look? How to make it look nice, you know? How do we make it look the best it can be? So there is that. I'm thinking this is kind of all I've thought of so far. I'm just kind of thinking about like where I want to build things and how I build them and how to structure things to where we can have a great old time. So give me your thoughts, give me your feedback, let me know what you think. I don't know how extraplanetary launch pads and stuff works, but I imagine if we're going to have a landing pad over here, we'll probably have a launch pad fairly close by too, maybe like here. And then all of the stuff for extraplanetary launch pads would be kind of maybe off in the distance. And then if I want to connect these so that the resources from this base, which is pumping out, you know, the plants and all that stuff and processing all the waste, if I want to have these connected, then I can just use the CCR2 ports. We'll put like, maybe like, I don't know, where is it? It's over here somewhere, miscellaneous, I'm already on that, okay. Come up to CCR2, and let's say we've got let's say the base is over here, right? Let's say we have the launch pad over here and the landing pad over here, right? And we've got kind of our workshop area and stuff kind of off on this side. if that's the case, then I can take this little CCR2 port here. I'd probably want to, at the end of this, I don't know why I put that way over there, but as long as I can grab it, I guess it's fine. I'd probably want the tip of this to kind of be closed off in some way, so let's go ahead back to planetary base systems, and let's do, I could do the corridor ending, but that doesn't really close it, I don't think. Well, maybe it does. If I do this, oh gosh, oh, you, come on, give it to me, give it to me. Oh, so close. Thank you. Ugh. Okay, so put this here and then bring it down. There. So if I put this corridor ending on the tip here, what does that do? Yeah, it doesn't really do much. It's still gonna close it off and make it look weird. So I'm thinking like maybe I could put, it doesn't look super bad. I mean, it could definitely be improved. Actually, it could definitely be improved. Let's just take this. Oh, well, of course, never mind. Let's take this storage end. Again, it has to cooperate with me in order to work. Kind of like this, right? And then we could put this fuel tank kind of like this. Wow, you just won't go in there, really? Okay, so something like that, right? Close it off, makes it look nice, really nice. And then we'll take that CCR2 port and we'll just place it like here, right? Or maybe lower to the ground so it looks better. The problem with doing this though, with the CCR2 ports, is that if we connect two buildings, where are you going? All right. If we connect two buildings like that, kind of off to the side, then we won't be able to drive through there. We won't be able to drive between them. So like the whole feel of having this be a base where you can drive around and you have rovers going everywhere and being very productive, you wouldn't want them to have to worry about that. So, but you know, it is what it is. If that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. So this has a 20-meter range, which probably is like something like maybe here. If we need to get further away for some reason, then we can use these ground pylons, and you just basically stick the ground pylon like wherever you want it, right? So like 20 meters away, you stick the ground pylon, and then the CCR2 port runs to this, which then connects to this is like a hub, and then that runs out and does somewhere else. So you can have things far away as long as you've got a hose running to each of these little, you know, ground base pylons or whatever to get where you need to go. So we can connect this base as long as wherever we're building things is close by. We can connect this base pretty easily. I'm really hoping to find a location where I have a good amount of resources for extraplanetary launch pads and water in the ground. That would be great. If we had those two things, that would be awesome. Because then, I mean, we could have the base kind of spread out if we need to cover both of those grounds. But as long as they're connected, all of the resources are shared amongst everything. And that would mean we could transfer resources into these tanks without needing to truck them around, which would be nice. I'm also going to have a sky crane kind of thing. Not really a sky crane on Duna, but in orbit, I'll have a sky crane. Or a, it's a tug. You guys just saw the tug already. But on the base here, I'm thinking like we have a big rover, kind of like that Malamute rover that I had. We could have that rover, which this fits in here, right? The Malamute rover would fit in here. I think it would. If I open this door, I go to USI and I go to, where's the pods? Interesting, the Malamute rover is not in here as a pod. MKV logistics rover. Logistics. Scavenges nearby warehouses or more distant piloted distribution hubs. 150-meter range. Scavenges. What does that mean? Like, Does it mean I don't have to do it? Are there ways to logistically have this base share resources without being directly connected? Like in an automated way so I don't have to do it? I don't know. I'm thinking about things, guys. Anyway, leave me your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the base idea. Let me know what you think of how things are structured. I think it looks pretty clean. I'm gonna kind of keep things simple, but I need them complete in order to be, you know, to complete the goal. I need things to complete. And it looks like if this was the completed version, and it's certainly not, but if this was how we shipped things, it's only 130,000. But it takes a lot more money than that to get the components where I need to go, to land them, and then there's a ton of time investment into getting things positioned and built when you're on the surface of something. But we'll get to that when we need to get to it. I don't think I'm gonna have the resources required to start setting up my base on Duna this cycle, I guess you could say, or this window. I think it's just a little bit too soon. But I can send some of the components out that way if I want to. Like I can think about, you know, the habitat stuff. I might be able to send that on a ship and sort of put it together with the greenhouses and you know, stuff like that, as long as I have the docking ports, which I don't have unlocked yet. So until I have docking ports for the K&K stuff, I can't really send it anywhere. I can't really send anything logistically there. So maybe we'll work on orbital stations instead. We could look at that. We could look at orbital stations and setting up one of those around Duna. I don't know. I think maybe the next episode I'm gonna send some stuff to Duna. I'm gonna send some satellites to Duna in the next episode. Kind of ship up some satellites to make sure we can get our completed network going. I'm also probably going to send some stuff up for resource scanning and probably some stuff for Ike as well. And then I think from there, I'm not sure if there's really anything else I can send to Duna, guys. I'm not sure if it's worth it yet, because sending the base stuff only really works if you have all the components ready to go, because it's really hard to add things to a ground station. I don't know. Might be able to send stuff for an orbital station though. So let's this is what I have here, right? You can see this is how this is working out. So that works okay, right? We kind of like that. I'm gonna save this as Duna base. I'm gonna say V2 because I actually was already working on this before, kind of like playing around with how things work. So let me show you what I had before. It's just gonna be Duna base. It's 117 parts. This one is 70 parts, okay? The base we just built is 70 parts. The one I was messing around with before is actually 117. So let's take a look at that. Okay, back here. You can see that the one I was playing with before has the greenhouses in the middle here, and then the habitation modules are actually on the sides like this. So we can hold more Kerbals this way, and it also provides a cupola module for every habitation module, which is kind of nice. So I had the planetary greenhouses in the middle this way. I had, of course, the really super long, high up tower here with the lights at the top if I wanted to have them shine down. So we can have basically daylight in the night if we want to. And these are only at 75% power. They're not even turned all the way on. These are really bright lights at the top. We also have, and I don't have that remote guidance unit on the top here like you saw before. What is going on here? What is going on here? The camera is not doing what I want it to do. Wow. Wow. Communications lab here. Start this deployed. This thing would be much higher, I think. Would need to be much higher, but it's a crude thing. The communications lab is crude, so that's why I kind of have it down below. Of course, we don't need that, but I'm wondering if it has some sort of a range. Wondering if it helps us at all. Yeah, the range on this is 2.5 million meters, Omni, and it looks like it uses 7.8 It's just kind of pointless to have this really, because really one little antenna takes care of that. So I'll just remove that. But anyway, you can see that I then had all the types of different life support stuff, because we didn't even have life support stuff in the other thing we were playing around with. This one has life support stuff. There's water containers, there's waste containers, there's carbon extractors that takes carbon dioxide and gives you back oxygen. There's oxygen tanks here, there's food tanks here. There's a service bay on each side here, the little service bay, which is kind of nice. You can see we also have landing legs on every single one of these little adapters. So that's probably where a big portion of the parts are coming from. So yeah, this is the base I was working on before. It looks pretty good. Same garage system as before, but there's some CCR2 ports kind of all over the place here to connect whatever I'm connecting, because I realized that if I put the rover in the garage and you know, it just sits there, there's a chance the batteries might die while it's in the garage, which is weird. So I feel like if I park the rover in the garage, I could connect it to the CCR2 port, and that would allow it to share resources with the base and charge itself. So there is that. That's pretty much it though. Like, it's a fairly simple concept. I'm not sure if I'm missing something. I guess I'll figure it out once I get there. The components will all be sent to the planet that we're gonna set the base up on. All the components get sent to the planet and get delivered before Kerbals get there. Okay? That's the big thing. You don't want to spend life support resources just waiting around for parts to get there, especially if it's a really far away place. So unmanned stuff is going to be the primary way we deliver things to start our bases, both orbital and surface, which means RemoteTech is going to also play a role here. We're going to need to make sure that our satellite networks are ready to go and working. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I've been recording for over an hour now. I know this is probably the longest video. Probably the longest video of this series will probably be our base planning videos. But I mean, really, it's a plan, and I'm gonna do it uncut, and I'm just gonna kind of give you guys my thoughts as I'm doing it, as I build it. So leave me your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Tell me if you think I can improve it and how. Tell me if you think I'm missing something really obvious, which I probably am. You can let me know that down below as well. Like the video, subscribe if you want more, if you're not subscribed already, and that's pretty much it. If you think I've earned it, don't like it if you don't think it's good. I'm not gonna be a guy that like demands you like my videos or anything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a good one, guys. See ya. Bye.